Okay, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Yes, your very favorite Diana Athena Clarion, the Lavender Lady, is back here on Coffee with Lavender with a shitty opening, but what can I tell you? And with me, we have the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. Hello, my dearest. How are you?
I'm alright, I suppose. Life's been interesting. Ever since I released Queen Redshift, which, by the way, all of you should have watched by now, I've actually been submitting it to film festivals, and it hasn't actually been accepted to any, but it hasn't been rejected either. It's in consideration for a bunch of them.
All
Some of them are
right.
local, some of them aren't. There does seem to be a fair amount of interest, so that's been going pretty well. I'm transitioning to my new computers again now that Quinn is done. I have more powerful computers. I was sticking with the really old one because, well, can't really change horses midstream in the middle of that project. It would have been
Right,
really
right.
bad, especially since right now I'm seeing that a bunch of functions in the newest version of Macs are just not there that I was using. So it would have been like cutting my own throat with that project. So, now I'm trying to familiarize myself with the new versions and all that. But because, like, I was on a Zoom call the other day, I forgot that the microphone and webcam were plugged into the old computer. And so I'm like trying to
Oops.
figure out why the hell it's not working. Because, they're plugged in, aren't they? Wait. Oh, yeah, that's where they're plugged in. That kind of thing.
I
So.
really,
Mm-hmm.
I really hate it when new programs take away the functions that were in the old program that were
Yeah, what
useful.
the hell, right?
Yeah, especially when it's one of those things where they're changing something for the sake of changing
Yeah,
Mm. In this case, it wasn't that, but it's still like, okay, how do I replicate the effect? And no one can tell me.
Yeah, okay.
Like, is there a way to do what I was doing with what's there now?
Yeah, yeah. And I sometimes am suspicious in the sense that they're eliminating it from the program in order to make you buy another program which contains that feature they eliminated.
That one doesn't happen to me too often. Sometimes it's just they ripped something out and they couldn't even tell you why. Maybe there was something like the new graphics card didn't support it or something, or just some over eager executive decided to make a decision that really should have been made by an engineer, or worse, an engineer made a decision not realizing that artists would be using this program, that kind of thing, or
Yeah,
someone yanks something because they wouldn't use it, never mind what the end user might be doing.
right. Um, and it's amazing the way they will give decisions like that to people least qualified to make them.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I've been playing around with this art breeder. It's an AI generating thing,
Uh
and
huh.
Uh,
they just updated the layout, and the new layout lacks some features like if you click on the image, it won't give you for the profile thing. It won't give you a full blown full screen image of it. It'll just give you this like little tiny square. And then when you try and search for these gens, it'll kind of alter the image. There used to be where you can click on like the ones that you've liked, and filter the search from there, typing in what you want. Now they've taken that away, so if you type in what you're looking for, it'll give you everything that's been released instead of just what you've liked.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my. I don't know. It just drives me crazy what they do.
you know, and it's not like they listen to feedback.
Yeah, actually, I tried to go into their Discord and give suggestions of change these things,
Hmm.
and I've had a hell of a time trying to get into the Discord.
Well, I mean, like anything where you say, hey, why did you make this decision, or here's something I do or don't like. Like, does anybody actually read the feedback section where you can like vent your frustrations, or is it just going into, some spam filter folder or whatever?
Yeah, I do kind
Yeah,
of wonder that sometimes.
I think it's the latter. I really do. What do you think, people? Designers, engineers, what do you guys think? And of course, they don't watch this show.
Yeah, well, what you gonna do? Uh, anyway,
Actually, what I think I should do is feature more boobs. I might get more views.
Boobs make everything better.
I think it depends on whose boobs, but okay.
Well, Kate, you want to sacrifice your shirt for the cause?
Well, if people want to see my knockers, they know where to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, there was that one time you flashed the camera on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put up little black bars though.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
Well,
there you
actually, it was
go.
tape. It was actually tape, but yeah.
Was it? I could have sworn
Yeah.
there was one where like I just put black squares over it using my video editing
Oh,
software.
maybe it was video editing software. I thought it was tape.
Hmm.
Pirish likes the gorgeous blue knockers.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Anyway. Oh, hello, Zender. Hey there, kitten. How you doing, buddy? Oh.
You should have seen. You should have seen Sylvia. She was just over herself. Couldn't get enough of me.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, considering that in the past 3 weeks I might have been here, what, 4 days?
Yeah. I don't know,
Well,
like,
you're back until next time.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I hope next time is a little way off.
Columbia's been quite the incorrigible snuggle muffin lately, too.
Okay, okay.
Well, she has.
For the most part, I don't mind Snuggle Muffin. I really don't.
Oh. Well, every now and then cats demand cuddles when you're just really not, it's just a bad time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, but what can you do?
Oh no.
What?
Stool cannot believe that he's never said knockers to you, Kate.
Huh.
Well, Grudge, I'm not feeling too bad. I could be better, but I could be a lot worse, and have been a lot worse. Oh my. What I've got to do now is get this place cleaned.
Why? Are you trying to impress someone?
Yeah, the health department.
Hmm. I'm sure
No,
with the mess I've got, I'm in violation of something.
I'm in violation of several things, I'm pretty sure. Oh, man.
Oh, sit there.
Gosh.
I
I
remember.
don't think I have any snacks.
I remember having abdominal trouble before for myself once. I tried to get to the bathroom, and I ended up, the pain was so bad I ended up just collapsing on the floor and just laying on the floor for about 20 minutes.
Oh, God, I know that feeling implicitly. Oh, yeah. That's the problem I was having this last time I went to hospital. And it's a total mess from there. I mean, I was in the midst of diarrhea when I could not hold my weight up on my legs.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the assholes driving the Ekmalubma wouldn't have me. What do you want to say? They wouldn't hear me when I said, "Hey, I'm shitting all over everything, and would you kindly be a little easier with me?" And they were just dragging me around and whatever else. And now there's a chair full of shit, and there's shit all over the floor in the entranceway. And
Ew.
not good. Not good.
No, definitely not good.
I could probably report them, except that I don't know their names or badge numbers or whatever you want to call it. I'd like to.
Yeah. My mom had an issue with her stomach as well. She had a non-cancerous tumor that formed in her intestines, and they had to cut
Ooh.
it out and stitch her intestines back together. And
Oh, what? Did they have to resection?
yeah,
Okay, take some out and then
yeah, they
stitch
had
the
to
other
take some out.
joints. Yeah.
Yeah, and as- after she got out of the hospital, it was maybe a week later. After she got out of the hospital, she still had the stitches in her gut. She went into a diabetic reaction,
Oh
cracked,
no.
cracked her head open, and was laying on the floor naked. I came outside, out into the hall, and she's got blood dripping all over her face, and it was pooling right at the stitches, so it looked like she had burst the stitches opened.
Ooh.
So I called the ambulance. Fortunately, she didn't burst the stitches open,
Oh,
but it was
good.
a scary thing. See.
Yeah, definitely. Ah. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I still have a little bit of pain, nowhere near as much as I had last week. But the surgery went well enough. So I'm happy about that. So I need to call the surgeon and be seen follow up, and hopefully things will go well. Hey Randy, how you doing?
So I can't tell if I just want lunch or if this is the munchies.
Well, come on over. I'll make you some lunch.
I don't want to be lunch.
Ow!
I didn't think the joke was that bad. I'm just saying.
Oh my! I
I
want to
got
get
these things.
I want to get stuff sorted enough that I have disposed of all the stuff that isn't good to eat anymore. Because there's some stuff that's past its expiration date, definitely, and let's we'll see what we can do.
Gotta do a clean out of the fridge, huh?
Yeah, that's one of the first things I'll do. Because I've had most of a turkey in there for I don't know over 3 weeks.
That definitely needs to go.
Yep. And we'll just try to take care of everything. And once I get things cleaned up, maybe I can get the kitchen and the stuff ready to go, ready to run, and maybe I'll start making stuff again and filming it. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
God, that. Oh, Jesus. I just hope that maintenance doesn't have to come here anytime soon.
Your place must have an amazing smell to it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't notice anything, but I'm in the middle of it, so.
Well, I know that, like, when I leave my place to go shopping or whatever, and then I come back, and I'm like, why is the heat so freaking high? You know? But while I was at home, at some point I was obviously adjusting the heat because it felt so like my feet were cold, and I can't seem to find that sweet spot of this is actually the right temperature. It's probably something similar with smells, where it's like you leave and then you come back and you're like, whoa, did
Yes,
it
it
Yeah,
smell
can.
like that when I left?
yeah,
It can be happening like that. Yeah.
you stop smelling something after a while.
Yep.
Yes. And I hate when that happens because I really like to know if there's something objectionable and
Well, I
be
know.
able to do something about it. Wait a minute. Stool has a new chew toy.
Okay. Uh, sure. I don't think chew toys break my brain so much, but all right, hit me, I guess. Just as long as it has nothing to do with goddamn Starfleet uniforms, okay? Just
Oh
say it.
man, don't get Stool started.
Oh, I don't have to. He'll say it eventually on his own. Might as well get it out now. You know?
God, it's like Captain Kangaroo and the ping pong balls.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen that since it was like still airing, as in first run.
Uh-huh. I can't remember when it went off air. It was a lot later than I thought it was, but
There were a bunch of shows like that where I was like, man, that had to have been canceled in, like what, 87. I'm like, holy crap, it went until 93. You've got to be kidding me. It's like shows went a lot longer than I ever thought.
Hmm.
okay, Captain Kangaroo. I'm just curious now.
1984.
Okay,
Oh,
then.
that doesn't shock me, honestly.
Okay, started in 1955. Yeah, that feels about right.
I think one of the ones that shocked me was like, I don't know, not reading Rainbow. What's the one I'm thinking of? Electric Company, or 321 Contact. Like one of those went so much longer than I ever would have thought.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those kids shows that was like, out there and I watched it when it was first run as a kid, and it turned out that it kept going until I was like a lot older than that,
Ah,
you know? And it's like, I had no idea. I thought that show just sort of died. Hell, for all I know, it was a rerun when I was watching it. I mean, 321 Contact looked pretty old when I was watching it.
I remember it existing.
Yeah. I actually only remember the theme song. I don't remember what format the show was at all.
Oh, look at that. Cast Sarah Jessica Parker, David Quinn, Todd A. Roll, Deborah Shapiro, Sonia Martinez, or Martinez. I don't know how she would have done it.
Okay.
Well, 225 episodes.
Yeah. But point being is like that one of those shows went so much longer than I thought it possibly even could have, given how, I don't know, chintzy ass I guess it looked.
Ah,
I don't think I have a technical term for chintzy ass, but you know,
wait a minute. Parish Knight asks, who remembers come on and zoom, zoom, zoom a zoom?
no.
I do not. Still wants to show you something. It's
I
not.
don't want to see anything he has to show me.
Oh my.
Yeah, still just, whatever it is you have in mind, just keep it in your pants.
Shadow Kitty remembers the song
Hmm.
I'm a Lonely Little Petunia in an Onion Patch from
Huh.
Captain Kangaroo. I do not.
It sounds vaguely familiar. I remember I had a Captain Kangaroo album, yes, album as in record album, about this dude called Finnerty Flynn and his 101 Things. It was like some traveling dude who sort of had a Willy Wonka-ish vibe, and yeah, I just remember it's Finnerty Flynn and his 101 Things, like that. I remember it was like Captain Kangaroo telling the story of this guy.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
No, I remember when record albums were actual albums. They were
What do you mean?
books. They were books of discs,
Oh, sure.
and then eventually the discs content got compressed onto a single disc, and that retained the name album.
Well, I remember having to explain why they're called trailers when they're at the beginning of a movie.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's because they used to be at the end. Watch really old ass movies. You'll notice they get their credits out of the way at the beginning and they go fast
Yeah,
because there isn't like, a 2 or 300 person FX department kind of thing. Never mind all the other stuff. I mean, movies like their staff is so bloated these days that if you put the credits at the beginning, no one would stay for the movie, right? So
right.
it used to be that like the movie would end and it would say the end and that was it. And then the trailers would trail the movie, letting here's the coming attractions kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But now, because the credits are so loaded, they put the trailers at the front and still call them trailers.
Moo.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it's people just say trailer. Most people don't think about why it's called that. I had to explain it to a bunch of folks actually.
I remember when they used to call stuff like that leaders. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And we've covered this one before. I'm still always amused when like old people will give their phone number Klondike 5 for
Ah,
yeah.
yep, absolutely. Well, I still remember um, the Slimy Bastard's phone number started with Tuxedo 4,
Huh.
and the house before that, the phone number started with Michigan 1.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like I wonder why did that fall out of favor? Because I mean, it's funny as hell, and I wouldn't want to use it. I just want to know the history of it. Why did people stop saying it that way?
Yeah, you got me thinking about that. I haven't thought about that shit in a long
Let's see.
time.
Why did I don't know. Why did people stop giving phone numbers using words? Why did old phone numbers start with letters? But I don't know what happened to it. Uh,
I know the exchanges, the buildings had names, and that's where the letters came from.
oh, well, maybe that's it then. Like, we don't need it anymore.
Yeah, but why did they stop naming exchanges?
Well, it looks
What do
like
they do
area
now?
codes had something to do with it.
Maybe.
Says like United States phone systems began switching to all number calling, which didn't rely on archaic telephone exchanges and could exponentially add customers just by introducing new area codes. Apparently, some people, it says here, the change did not happen without some resistance, however. People love the literary charm of their old telephone exchange names, and groups like the Anti Digit Dialing League, you've got to be kidding me, and the Committee of 10 Million to Oppose All Number Calling were formed to protest the switch.
Hmm. Well, I remember that there were companies that used their exchange names in their advertising. There was a remodeler in the Cleveland area that had something like, Garfield 12323, Garfield 12323.
Oh gosh, I remember some of those. There was like this one, oh gosh, what was it? Subaru, I think, dealership where their local ad was like 2525, yay! I think 2525 was their address or some shit.
Okay,
But
okay.
every time, oh my gosh, there are so many old like jingles stuck in my head. I still remember la 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 TJ Maxx. That one, oh
I
god,
remember that one.
jammed in
Yeah.
my head for decades because of that shit. Oh yeah.
Oh my, I don't even know. Oh, get over here. Damn it.
I remember my parents like okay, one of the local movie theaters they would always play this thing about not smoking and pick up your trash and all that, be quiet during the movie, and it wasn't done sort of the way they do it today, where it's almost like a flight attendant giving instructions. It was just like pictographic representation, slightly animated kind of thing, and it came with this tune, and I still remember that it was like dun dun da 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 dun, dun, like that. And my parents had come up with this little dance to do in their seats, done to the timing of it. Like at the please don't smoke, they would make the two fingers. I'm holding a cigarette gesture and move it away from their mouths in a rhythmic way to the tune, and it was so embarrassing. I never wanted to be around my parents at the movies
Oh
ever.
yeah, I can just
Oh
imagine
my.
that being embarrassing as hell.
Oh, geez.
Oh my.
And
This
my
is
mom
interesting.
loved it. My mom loved doing the dance. Ugh.
So I see what that company did. They changed their name to their old phone number.
Really?
The company is now called Garfield 12323.
Wow. Well, what do they sell?
They're a home improvement company.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, I decided what the hell and put on some background noise. Home Improvement, the sitcom from the 90s. I never put on a show and just go, wow, was this ever a product of its time?
Wait a minute. Home improvement. Is that the one with Tim Allen?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm watching it and I'm going, this is like one of the 90s-est shows I've ever seen.
Okay then.
Well, it is.
Okay, yeah, Garfield 12323 was founded in 1936 as the Home Corporation and is still owned and operated by the same family.
Yeah. And I still remember all of the old like call number letter thingies with like the radio stations and the TV stations nearby. And like every now and then I'll spot a news broadcast. And I'm like, I know WCAX. Oh my gosh, that's the CBS affiliate. This thing's local. Like if I'm on YouTube or something and seeing a clip about something,
Okay. Okay.
and then it happens with Seattle too. You know, like of course theirs start with a K, but
Moo.
still, it's one of those things I guess you kind of retain, right? Like after a while, oh yeah, WPTZ, Channel 5, of course, NBC. Oh,
Moo.
WVNY? Well, that used to be Channel 22. I don't know if they still are, but that's the ABC affiliate. I still remember, yeah, if you wanted ABC by antenna, you had to go to 22, but on cable it was channel 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And Zender's been sitting on that chair for a while.
Oh
I
my.
don't like him to be so still for so long. And now he's giving me this look. He's starting to know his name. But if I say his name, he'll look at me.
Oh my. Yeah, my Winston. You didn't have to look at him to let him know that you were talking to him, and he responded, even though you weren't looking at him or anything. Could be looking away from him, and and thinking, I'm thinking of Winston and referring to him, and he looks up, huh? What?
But I saw an article a while back that was saying like cats don't know their whole name, but like the first syllable or two is enough. Like probably Zand would be plenty.
I don't know. I suppose you could test that.
Could, could. Columbia, on the other hand, I don't know if she doesn't know her name or just doesn't give a fuck.
Probably the latter.
Yeah. Of course, Xander is a little bit, I guess I'll call it paranoid. Like, I could stand up right now and, like, not even face him, but he'd be pretty sure I was after him for something. Like he is one of the jumpiest kitties I've ever met.
Okay.
Oh, he is.
I believe you.
Okay, good. Because believing me is good.
Oh, boy. It's really nice to be home.
Even if it is covered in shit.
Yeah,
Mm.
actually it is. Yeah. No, that's the first stuff I'm going to take care of here. I've already started, but I'll get it finished. And yeah, the entryway and the I don't know if I'm ever going to get that chair clean.
That bad, huh?
If I Well, it may have worked its way into the wood.
Ooh.
And I really, if it's one of those things where I can't get it clean, I feel like hitting them over the head with it.
Right.
Yeah, because I just oiled it when I put it together.
I find myself really wanting some sort of puffy cheese snack in the Cheetos vein, but not the regular Cheetos, the puffy Cheetos. They
Wait
have
a
a
minute.
brand around here that we didn't have on the West Coast called Jax, 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 and it's like puffy Cheetos. There's also I haven't had cheese doodles in a long time.
Wait a minute. What's the difference between puffy Cheetos and regular Cheetos?
One of them's not puffy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, try. I usually recommend using Old English for cleaning wood.
Uh,
Old English?
that's
Yeah.
what you
I'll
said.
look for it. I hope I could find it at Squalmart. If I can't find it at Squalmart, I'll look for it at one of the big box stores, preferably Lowe's.
You should be able to find it.
How do you not know the difference between regular Cheetos and Cheetos Puffies?
I don't eat much snack food.
Yeah, but still. I
I like.
mean, it's Cheetos. It'd be like trying to claim you don't know anything about Doritos. Or that you've never heard of Ruffles. Or Pringles, for that matter.
I
Oh,
like
rough.
the. I like the white cheetah, the white cheddar or Cheetah puffs.
I haven't
What
had, or maybe I have, but I found them unremarkable.
what are the puffy Cheetos called?
They're Cheetos Puffs.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
You don't see the difference between the regular and the puffies.
I'm trying to see the on the Google search page. There was the question, "What are the puffy Cheetos called?" And I was reading that. Um,
Pretty sure
okay,
it's Puffs. Cheetos Puffs.
I'm starting to see a difference between two types. Yeah,
Yeah,
the non-puffy Cheetos look rather emaciated.
but they're like crunchy.
Yeah.
Like where the
Okay,
puffs are, softer. The,
okay.
the the other ones are crunchy. I like the crunchy ones better, but for some reason I just got this whole like need for Jacks.
And once when I was young, I took like a family-sized bag of those Cheeto Puffs and ate the whole thing in one go.
Mmm.
Boy, was I sick.
This is the Jacks. You see, right? It was with the here being. You see how they
How?
look like the Cheetos Puffs?
Hmm.
Wait a minute. The Jack's Food. How is that spelled?
JAX. Well, look, JAX right there on the screen.
Oh, I had the thing covering the thing on the thing. Oh, there we are. I was looking for that, and I was finding a singer.
But you
And
see how it looks like the puffy Cheetos.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kinda.
Yeah, I had this sudden desire for those.
Moo.
Yeah, they're actually. I think the Jacks are better than the Cheetos.
Okay.
Oh, I
Take
do.
your word for it. I will. Um.
Don't think I can find them around my area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something interesting. I discovered during the time I was in hospital that I could tolerate football, American football on television. I still prefer football to the American stuff, but
Well, I mean, you've heard my story about being a video game tester and learning to appreciate football from that.
hmm
And, well, I mean, I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl this year, but that's like it.
well, let me know how you were watching. You're going to watch it by streaming it, right?
Um, I mean, yeah, but actually, no. I have to call my cable company, not cable company, sorry, my internet company, because apparently some sort of television came with the internet package, but I never hooked it up. I need to ask them how.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have to pay a lot extra to watch a Super Bowl, then it's like fuck it. But
Yeah. But I do. It's weird that I enjoy the game. I do. It's not my thing. I'm not sports people. I don't know why I enjoy football. I think it's the strategy part, you know, because there's a lot more to it than just smashing into each other. And it took playing that video game to realize.
okay, because I mean, this last week of the season, I was watching American football and hoping that the Stillers would lose, and unfortunately, they didn't.
When is it anyway? February 12th. Okay. I wonder,
Yeah, got a
I
lot
don't
of.
know who's in it. Did they know who's in it yet?
Well, no, the playoff rounds are just starting.
Well, I don't know. I mean, seriously, I know smeg all about football beyond what was in that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the wild card hasn't even started yet, if I remember correctly. That should start today.
Okay.
Let's see, NFL Wild.
I don't know. Baseball, like, I don't care. I was going to ask questions about which teams were in it, but I don't care.
Yeah, the wild card round is today, and you've got more than 6 games in that round. I see some final scores are in already.
I still love how that in that game you could make your own custom teams, and because they had announcers, like they would announce each play and team and stuff within the game, like they announce your custom team name, and you could pick from some because they didn't have like type in the name and they'll say it realistically yet. And one of the team names you could choose was the Pansies. I always played as the Pansies.
Ah! Oh, so you couldn't give them your own name like the Jack Shits
No,
or
you
something?
could pick from a list of teams that aren't actually in the NFL or teams that are. Like, I forget what the other ones were, but I just had to choose the Pansies. Their uniforms were like yellow and pink or some shit.
All
It was
right.
awesome. I loved it.
I would really like to see somebody who would let you do something like the Jacksonville Jack Shits, you know?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I always thought there ought to be some sort of filthy joke in the word Chattanooga.
Oh my, I don't know if anybody would let you do that song anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like the Chattanooga just sounds, especially the nougat part, sounds like there's got to be something sexual going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I mean, but how much can you say about Nantucket?
right, right. Yeah, and I suppose that no longer can you even cover a song that opens with "Pardon Me, Boy."
Sure, you could.
Okay, I thought somebody would take that as racist.
Pardon me, boy.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell is that racist?
That is how you would um, address a black person. Hey,
Really?
boy.
Isn't
I've
that how
never
you address an English serf?
I've never heard that used
Yeah,
exclusively for black person.
yeah, me neither. Like if someone said "Pardon me, boy," it sounds to me like Marilyn Monroe coming onto a guy.
Hmm.
That's where my brain goes when I hear it.
Yeah, Parrish recognizes it.
Well, okay, if you say so. It must be one of those things that just sort of fell out of use and then like fell out of the cultural zeitgeist because this is the first I've heard it.
Most I've heard the term boy comes from phantasm.
Hmm.
You know,
Honestly, when I hear someone calling someone else boy like that, it's usually a British lord. Like I just saw it in Blackadder for fuck's sake.
because a tall man, you would go, "It's never over, boy."
Okay. Ah, ow. Oh, God. Ah!
Don't do
I,
that. It hurts.
I
Yeah.
have to exercise this more because I was moving my leg in. I was not moving my leg in a way that I should not have been moving it in the first place.
Wait, say that again?
I was not moving my leg in a way it should not have been moving.
So if there was a way your leg was moving, it was moving in an appropriate fashion.
Yes.
You couldn't just say that.
I was trying to say it using as many syllables as possible.
So say it in German. I know you.
There you go.
Yeah, don't they use all the syllables all the time?
Pretty much.
Know. It's kind of like how French uses gargling and vowels to speak.
Oh my word. Yeah, it's great spelling a French word. Um, write down all the letters that you hear and then pronounce all the letters that are not there.
Yeah, I will never forgive them for that X on the end of things like Devereaux.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that in no way does that need an X, damn it. But, oh well.
No.
I mean, does the X make a difference in any way? Like, if the X wasn't there, would it make, I mean, it wouldn't make a difference to pronunciation since they don't say the X in the first place, but would it change the meaning of the word in any fashion?
Would make it unintelligible.
No, but I mean seriously, like without the X, is it suddenly in the masculine gender or some shit? You know, because all these Romance languages use the stupid gendered nouns thing. Is the X indicating one or the other?
No idea.
Because I
Yeah.
can't see the point of using it for any other reason.
Really don't know. Yeah.
Well, you know what? To the Google machine, away! Why do French words end in X? Ha! Go me! It comes from the Latin accusative plural masculine duos.
Oh,
Oh, wait, no, that's just why is there an X in the French deux? But apparently,
Still,
yeah, it has something to do with plural.
hmm.
So
moo.
apparently, without the X, Devereaux would be singular. At
Oh,
least I'm
Okay.
guessing. I don't know.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I've got to do a lot more exercising here to try to work this stuff out to where it hurts all the time.
Don't you want it to not hurt all the time?
Well, that's the whole thing. I want it to not work all the time, so I've got to work the hurting out.
What?
Ah! I do not want this to work. Do not want this to hurt all the time.
Yeah.
So I have to work the hurting out.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, okay. That phrasing didn't quite at first with the, yeah, okay.
Jato tayo kepeta toyo. Pono. Doyo kora sa tapatrana.
Flabada blib blob bleeb.
Yes.
The thing about these 4X games, I always screw something up on the first playthrough where it's like I didn't know I was supposed to do something or I didn't know that something would screw me over later. And so I end up having to start over every time.
No. Yeah.
Like, you know, just some bit of like this is how the game works that didn't quite register.
Okay
You missed the
then.
magical sword at the beginning of the game, so now you're screwed.
Well, yeah, something like that. There was a game I was playing where there was like a very, very, very rare element that you could only mine in specific places, and there was a finite amount of it, and you needed it for a quest later, but they didn't tell you. So you could sell all of it off and then just be royally screwed over for the rest of the game because you didn't know you needed to hold on to like 2 bits of that one space element, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when they do that in games.
You know,
Yeah, there's something like that here where there's a rather rare element that you can sell or use to make parts that you need for other things. And
what game is this?
Surviving Mars.
Oh, Surviving Mars doesn't do that to you too much.
I haven't loaded that game up yet.
There's only one place I know of that does that. Yeah, there's I think it's, you can sell it or use it to make electronics or something like that, or make polymers or some bullshit.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, there are a couple of things that are really hard to come by in that game unless you mine them yourself.
yes, and you know, the rare metals is one that you cannot buy. You can only mine it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't too bad. I mean, if you actually go and get it once you realize you need it.
The bad thing is that you can transport cargo with rocket ships, and there's a toggle on the rocket ships that says, okay, allow transport of these rare, allow exporting the rare metals as revenue producing stuff, or forbid it. And the rockets come preloaded with allowing it. So if you don't know this,
Well, there's a way around that, actually. If you have a rocket that's doing round trips, like back and forth as like a cargo rocket, that one always has the same stats going and coming.
I have to try and remember to shut that
Well,
off if
I mean, because that's one thing is the rockets are not single use. Each rocket has a name, and each
yes.
rocket has its own job. If you set it for each rocket, it'll stay.
What I have learned to do, the first time I use a rocket, I turn that switch off.
I'll have to remember that when I start playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as I say, you can sell off everything and be screwed over if you need it to make this thing that you can make with it.
Yeah. Well,
Could
I
be
really should load Surviving Mars back up. I had a thriving colony that was like getting closer and closer to terraforming, and I just didn't play it for a good long time because I was working on Quinn Redshift, and now I have all this free time on my hands, and I keep forgetting there was stuff I was in the middle of.
Yeah. My thing is I haven't got too far in the game because I'll set it down and then forget where I was and what I was doing, and then okay, I'll have to restart.
See that happens to me a lot, especially with The Sims, for example. But once you get to a certain point in Surviving Mars, you start getting attached to your colony, and you start
Hmm.
to remember.
I haven't reached that point yet. I'm working on it.
Native Atheist is saying that you hopes you're doing well in Vermont.
Sorry, what was that?
Native Atheist is saying that they hope you're doing well in Vermont.
So far, um, I mean, I certainly like my place better. I have a view, I have like regular sunlight, and that's really helping my mood a great deal. Um, there's not a lot to do here, though. But if
Mm.
there is something to do, at least I have a car to get there.
Yeah,
Nice that you're able to drive around. I
Yeah.
bet that's a lot better than having to rely upon, I don't know, feet or public
Well,
transport or.
well, that's the thing. I mean, I've said it many times. The public transportation system in Seattle spoiled me. Oh my gosh, I loved it. Buses were on time. That they were frequent enough to use without them being an inconvenience. It was great. But then I go to other places and I look at their bus systems and I'm like, oh, that is bad. You know? That, I mean,
Yeah.
like even just the fact that like okay, like King County Metro in Seattle had the like a debit card basically. It was a tap and pay kind of deal, and that was great. That was super convenient. Then I get to San Diego, and you can only buy monthly passes. And I'm like, I don't even know I'm going to be using the bus often enough to justify a monthly pass. Plus all the hassle of having to go and get a new one every month. What the hell, right? So,
Hmm.
and then the buses were like these primitive old things, and it was a mess, a big old mess. And now here in Burlington, Vermont, that area, I mean, the buses are okay. They're rarely on time, but like when they're late, the next one's late by the same amount, right? So it's like basically they're on a set schedule. It's just not the one that's posted.
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, but they're also free. at the moment. Like when the pandemic started, they said, "Fuck it, bus rides are free." I don't know if that'll ever go away, but it's very convenient.
Well, that's one of the nice things about being old in Allegheny County. I can ride the public transport for free anywhere, anytime.
Okay, but here it's free for everybody.
Wow, everybody, that's nice.
But like I said, I don't know how long that'll last. It's got to be better for the environment.
Well, how many people are using it compared to the number of people who can?
I don't know, but I rarely pass a bus stop that doesn't have people waiting.
Okay, okay.
I mean, for whatever that's worth, it's not enough data to draw any kind of conclusion, but it's still something.
I mean, around here, the eligible to using ratio is horrid. Around here, it seems that people think that the public transport is only for poor people or black people.
Really.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, granted, in San Diego, I expected a lot more racism than I saw. I feel a little bit lied to by the media on that one. I thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad there isn't racism, or at least not as much as I was led to believe, but I was still led to believe something that wasn't true, right?
Yeah, okay.
Now,
Yeah,
in Seattle, there isn't a lot of racism, but like when people think of who is riding the bus, it's usually like, yeah, the kids from the college or anybody. It doesn't matter. Like there's no stigma.
yeah. They
Oh,
the bus system as for poor people around here as well.
Huh.
yeah, I mean, around here, there's a great deal of racism. Well, around here, there are a lot of old white former steel workers.
Well, that'll do it to you.
Yep, it will.
See, I wonder, okay, is there something about working in manual labor that makes you racist, or is it just that the people who are racist live around places that are manual labor centric?
I think some of it has to do with the people who ended up working in the manual labor or the steel or wherever were racist to begin with. I mean, there were a lot of hunkies, a lot of Eastern European descendants.
Mm. See,
And oh, hmm?
I like okay. I like analyzing things, even things where like maybe it's a bit impolitic to think about it too hard. But I was
Hmm.
trying to figure out what it is about why like Eastern Europeans get looked down on a lot, and like just the visual component. And I think I figured out what it is. Number one, like guys at least can't seem to shave and not look like they have 5 o'clock shadow at all. I don't know what it is about the skin, but they always look a little unshaved, which probably makes them look a little brutish or whatever. And also large pores, visible large pores will do it as well.
Okay.
I think that's why people get the impression of someone who's less than civilized.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair, it's not right, but I think that's why. It's something that I notice in common among a lot of the people that get looked down upon.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
So, it's kind of like that time where someone insisted that I was racist because I said that I thought Japanese chicks were hot. And he was like, well, it's racist because you didn't say Asian. And I'm like, if I said Asian, I'd be saying that all Asians look the same. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I mean, like, which one of us is actually being racist? I have something I like, and you have something you're saying that tars a whole bunch of people with the same brush. Which one of us is racist?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot.
I'm just saying.
Oh my. Now, okay, in the people I think are hot category, I would say my preference is Thai chicks.
Hmm. Oh, hey, that is back.
Oh, it's back here.
Looks like.
Yep. Yes,
Yep,
sir.
there he is.
You know, I really should pay better attention to the chat that I've been looking at the gameplay footage of Galactic Civilizations 4, trying to convince myself to buy it. I'm just saying.
Paris Knight has a serious weakness for redheads.
Hmm. You know, okay, I have to admit that, like, okay, there are certain kinds of redheads that I totally dig, but it's the same problem I have with a lot of people is sometimes, like, if the Annie look makes you look too much like a clown. If the red hair is straight, fine, but if it's a big old koosh ball, forget it.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
yeah,
So I guess maybe it doesn't have a lot to do with the red hair, although it kind of does.
okay.
Well, I mean,
Oh
okay,
my.
take for example a lot of the characters that I've come up with. There are a few redheads in the casts of the, different sci-fi stories I've come up with.
Okay,
You know, it's just one of those things where, like, every now and then I find myself like, like a character designer. You know, in an RPG or something, I'm making a character. I make a lot of redheads without really meaning to.
okay.
I'm not saying I'm attracted to them or necessarily. I just apparently like the aesthetics.
Oh my. Okay, let me see if I can sit up straight. There we go. We're getting there. Oh God. Yeah, I think I need some absorbing junior.
You need what now?
Absorbing junior.
What's that?
Oh, that's a liniment. Supposed to help with muscle aches.
Oh, you couldn't just say Ben Gay?
Well, absorbing junior is another brand thereof.
Okay, but I'll be honest, it sounds like old people medicine.
Yeah, pretty
And I
much.
don't necessarily mean medicine for old people. It has that sound of, oh, yeah, this first started being manufactured in 1917. And, for a long time, it probably had the name of some respected doctor attached to it until
Yeah,
eventually, you know what I mean? That kind of energy is just the name of
yeah.
it has that energy.
Uh, I'm just looking up here. Absorbing junior. I want to see when that started or when that appeared.
It's like I remember my mom telling me about that commercial. I want my Mapo,
Oh
right?
God, I remember that.
And it just has that sound to it, the same kind of energy.
Hmm.
What's funny is apparently they used to manufacture that stuff right here, and in fact, like it's not used for the building where they made it called the Maltex building isn't like for that company anymore. For a while, my dad worked there at a computer company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, absorbing
Not
junior
like
was
programming or
discontinued.
coding or anything, selling computers to businesses.
Yeah, the one you were talking about the Mapo. Yeah, that was made by the same people who made Malto meal.
Hmm. Maybe it's just me, but malted just sounds like something you have to wipe up after. Oh man, I like it. You know, it doesn't sound like food. The same way treacle doesn't sound like food. You know?
Okay. Uh, I'm just looking this up. Is there a specific
What?
uh, malt? I'm looking this up. Oh, malt. is germinated.
Okay.
Okay, you germinate the cereal grain and then you dry it.
What's the one I'm thinking of that happens with beer that has a similar sound to it? Not fermented. There's a
Oh, I know
word.
what you're talking about, and I can't think of it.
Yeah. But it sort of sounds like malted.
I'm
Maybe
not
it is
sure.
malted and I can't, and I'm just fooling myself, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the term. I can't, so I really can't look it up.
Well, there is a, oh, right, malt liquor, malt beer, right. It is a thing. Malted. There is
Okay,
malted beer.
okay.
I was not wrong. Okay, good, good, good. My memory has not faulted me. No, I'm not sending my film to Melbourne, but thank you, Film Highway. Uh, I really should go to or not Film Highway, Film Freeway. I really should go back to that site and see if there's any more free film festivals because most of them charge a registration fee.
And I bet it's rather steep.
I suppose that depends on what your scale is.
Anything over 55 cents.
Then yes. Now it's usually around 40, 50 bucks per festival, per category per festival. So, it can get a little spendy, but there are free festivals. I'm still trying to decide, like, if it gets accepted, if I try to go to the one that's in New York City. It'd be a bit of a hike,
Oh man,
but it's doable.
I wouldn't suggest driving through New York.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll get accepted in the local ones.
Okay.
We'll see, I guess.
Get
It was
yourself
really
an out get yourself an outlandish wardrobe and show up. Yeah, why not?
Oh, look at this. Huh. Apparently, I've been selected for the Independent Shorts Awards.
Oh, yay!
Yeah,
Is there anywhere you can vote your support or anything?
I don't think so.
Or not?
This is weird because I could have sworn. Let me log out and see what else happens here. Log back in. Huh. I could have sworn I did stuff to my profile that was better than this. Oh well. Right. It is so strange. Oh well.
Wow, it's only quarter after one. Not, I'm not complaining or anything. It's just that time is passing about as slowly as it does while I'm in dialysis.
Oh, weird. Okay. When I saved my director biography, it did not save the picture or any of that to my profile. It just saved it to the Quinn Redshift project.
Huh.
How odd.
Yeah. Need
Well,
to
I
get up.
hope there's an easy way to duplicate it over.
Oh, yeah, it'll probably just be cut and paste, but
Oh,
Need to get up and
so,
get myself a glass of water when I noticed I was hungry, so I got myself some food. Got these.
Alrighty. Yeah, I haven't decided what I want to eat. Oh, I know what I want. I've got a couple pounds of shrimp and I've got a bottle of cocktail sauce. Then you could start there.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they were on sale at the grocery store, so got a couple.
Well, the next notification I might get would be not until February 17th. So, I mean, some of these festivals are pretty far out. I think the one that's furthest out is July 7th. That's one of the local ones. That's the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival. There's also one on March 18th. That's another local one. That's the Made Here Film Festival. That one's very local, if I remember right. I think that one's right here in town.
Do those have physical sites where you go and you watch them on a screen?
Yeah, that was the idea. I didn't just want to submit it to something online. I wanted it in theaters.
Okay, then. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So I've got like, let's see, where does this take place? Does it say? Oh yeah, at the really the Burlington Beer Company. I have no idea what kind of screen they might have, but fair enough. It's right here in town.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. I really should check and see if there's any more free film festivals to submit Quinn Redshift to. It's kind of exciting, except that I'm at such a far remove from it so far. But like, I haven't actually sat down and watched it with anybody yet. You know, not
Okay.
really. And so there's still a kind of unreality to it. But the fact that it's going to film festivals now, like, wow, you know?
Yeah, I like the sound of that. I really do. You might get a bit of a name for yourself. That's a good
Well,
thing.
I already have a name for myself, but this time it might be a good one. I'm just saying. So the question then becomes,
Yes, dear.
how cold is it out there, and how much do I want those cheesy poof things? Oof. Well, I don't want them that much.
Oh, what is the temperature out there?
It is 21 degrees Fahrenheit. 21.
No thanks.
It's like
It's
1 degrees below freezing.
a little on the low side. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need cheesy poofs that bad. And I don't think I want to pay extra to, have a minion go out and get them.
Right.
Which apparently you can do these days. Do you remember Webvan or whatever it was called?
No.
It was this thing where you could just like order anything online and they would drive it to you, but people were like ordering a single can of soda and it went under like really quickly, this business.
Oh, wow. So they
Yeah.
weren't charging you.
Well, apparently they weren't charging enough.
Okay, yeah.
But I remember hearing something a while back about how deliveries were going to be handled by drones in the future, where you could order a single can of soda and a little drone would go out and fly it to you.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't happened, but then it took them like, what, 20, 30 years for VR to finally hit home use.
Yeah.
So because I remember like VR was everywhere in the 90s. Like there were all these bad movies made about virtual reality that had no idea how it was going to work at all.
Lawnmower
And like
Man.
I remember the Lawnmower Man. Oh, what a shithole of a movie, right? And all of this stuff. And like it only was a couple of years ago we finally got some decent home use VR. And so the idea of a drone delivery is like that it's not here yet, despite the fact that I heard about it at least a decade ago, doesn't shock me.
Yeah, I would consider uh, building a VR rig if I could fly a World War II fighter
You can.
through it.
You
Um,
can. It exists.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I wouldn't mind flying a
But
Mustang.
but I wouldn't let you because you should be flying jets, modern planes, real planes.
A real plane like a Mustang
No, a real plane like an F-14.
or like a Thunderbolt
No, like an F-16.
or even a Lightning.
Like an SR-71. Which,
Yeah.
yes, I know is a recon plane, but still.
Oh
How was that one
my.
plane that we spent like what some $1 trillion on, and then they couldn't even get the thing to fly?
That happened more than
Well,
once, dear.
okay, one thing that really bothered me, like as much as I enjoyed the movie Deadpool, there's this one point where, like, they show Professor X's place, and this clearly SR-71 does a vertical takeoff.
The Blackbird.
Those things can't do vertical takeoffs, can they?
No, close,
This
but
this, this thing was a souped up version.
I'm sure that's what it was. Yes, they did a Back to the Future 2 on it, right?
Kinda. Yeah, that thing was like seriously souped up. It's their personal little jet for the X-Men.
Still, that bothered me. I was like, SR-71s can't do that. Granted, I don't know a lot about the X-Men. I still haven't made it all the way through that omnibus thing that I bought a while back. But
Yeah, that jet is called the Blackbird.
well, that's what it's called. Like if they're calling it that in the X-Men, whatever. But that's its actual official name, the SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah, I know.
hmm
I don't think they always use the black. I'm not sure if they always use the Blackbird for the SR-71 for the Blackbird.
Well, I've been using that X-Men thing. Like, how people these days often bring their phone to the toilet? I just keep the X-Men omnibus on top of the tank and read it when I, need to.
Okay. Moo.
It's very corny. I mean, it's clearly a product of its time, but it's still fun. It's just really corny.
Well, it depends on what you're eating.
I'm reading the very beginning, like the first bunch of issues of the X-Men,
Moo.
and it, like I say, it has that sort of 50s, 60s, a little too prim and proper vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay then.
Yeah.
Moo. Moo.
It feels like if Archie took place in a superhero universe,
Yeah.
or maybe if superheroes took place in an Archie universe, whatever, it mash them together. You get a little bit of Riverdale into the superhero shit.
Oh my good old
Yeah,
Riverdale.
like that kind of corny. Like, is this the X-Men or an episode of My Three Sons? You know?
Oh God, I remember that show.
And I only know that one exists because of Nick at Night. The Nickelodeon, like they had the nighttime thing where it was all black and white TV shows for the parents because the kids were in bed, sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I was old enough that I wasn't in bed, and so I watched a bunch of like the Donna Reed show and Mr. Ed, and I don't remember Route 66 that well, but I remember Car 54. Where Are You? Because it had Herman Munster in it,
Right.
and all of those things. So like there were a lot of those that I watched.
And Grandpa, by the way.
What?
Grandpa Munster.
Oh yeah, he was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Um, Whatever the dude was who played Tootie, though, I don't remember him being in anything else that I ever saw.
Tootie. I don't remember
Wasn't that his
Tootie.
name, the partner?
I don't remember him.
The short, fat dude. It was like they were almost like Abbott and Costello, but they weren't.
What, did they ride in the same car?
Yeah.
I thought that was Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis.
The character's name. And I think the character's name was like Gunther Tootie.
Okay.
54, where are you? Yeah. Yes, right there. Joe E. Ross, Gunther Tootie. Go me.
Okay.
I mean, like, I haven't said that name. It hasn't crossed my mind since, like, I don't even know, probably the 90s, maybe. And I still retain that shit after a stroke. Go me.
The original look of the Blackbird is almost more like a rocket ship. It's interesting.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't Al Lewis. Okay.
That did not load right.
No, Al Lewis was Officer Leo Schnauzer. Different guy.
Okay.
Why did that?
But no, it's Francis Muldoon, Fred Gwynn's partner, was Gunther Tootie, played by Joe E. Ross. Why do I know the name Hank Garrett?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Wow, Charlotte Ray, really? And I know I've heard the name Nipsey Russell, but I have no idea who he is at all.
Oh, I remember Nipsey Russell.
So,
No, there goes.
well, whoever this Hank Garrett guy is, I'm really not recognizing anything.
There's a diagram of the original Blackbird from X-Men.
Wow. I mean, it still kind of looks like an SR-71.
Seems to have taken on the more SR-71 look from the 90s cartoon.
Okay, but what you're showing right there still has that distinctive engine shape.
Yeah, this is the original design.
Okay, I'm just saying, is the it looks similar enough.
It's probably when they went with the SR-71 when it came out.
Well, anyway.
Oh, in fact, the notes here say the original X-Men was visually based modified scale with a version of the Lockheed SR-71.
There we go. Oh, that's why Xander's giving me that look. I haven't given him his dry food yet. But the thing is, like, I tried a different brand of dry food just to see what would happen. The cats don't care for it. And so he hasn't eaten what was there last night.
Moo. Yeah, I should clean out the feeder and waterer. I'll get around to that.
I never should have tried to start these cats off on dry food ever because now Xander won't eat the damn wet food.
Oh my.
Like he ate it before I tried introducing dry food, but as soon as I brought dry food into the house, he would not eat anything else. And I read somewhere cats are stubborn. They will starve to death rather than eat the food they don't want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Little bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Picky little brats. I mean, talk about entitled, you know?
So wait a minute. Okay, the SR-71 grew out of the A-12, and I see that it looks like Lockheed was looking at a fighter variant of the A-12.
Sorry, I started playing a scene from Top Gun Maverick in my head and got a little lost in it.
No.
That was a fun movie, a worthy sequel, I thought. Which, you know, makes me wonder, because I've seen at least twice where Hollywood has done it, where they actually managed to pull off a decades too late sequel, and then so many versions where they've just fucked it up royally. And I'm like, what's the difference? What happened between, like what why did one sequel work and the other didn't? I mean, I know what happened was that the vibe, they managed to recapture, the energy of the original, and that's why it worked. Or they changed way the hell too much, or tried to update it for modern audiences, or whatever they did, and pissed off the fans of the original. That's usually what it comes down to. But what I want to know is what executive decision was made somewhere to hand this project off to someone who clearly loved the original and wanted to faithfully represent it.
Moo.
Like which executive made that good decision, and how can we put them in charge of more shit?
Mm-hmm.
And the two examples I'm thinking of, Top Gun Maverick and A Christmas Story Christmas, those were very good representations of earlier works where honestly, like, I didn't even like the first Bill and Ted sequel that much. It wasn't bad, but Bill and Ted Face the Music was just phoned in.
It seemed unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, native. I don't know if I was a horrible human or not, but I fed a kitty dry cat food for 15 years. She seemed to do well enough on it. Well,
I,
I fed all the kitties that had me dry food for a long time.
I can coerce Sander into eating the wet food, but he really clearly resents the fuck out of it.
No, no.
And after a while, I just give in. So I've started torturing him a little bit. I won't feed him his dry food unless he lets me pick him up first.
Hmm.
He hates being picked up.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping maybe the reward will keep him, like he'll go, okay, fine. I'll go through this affection if it means getting fed, you know, kind of thing. And eventually he'll associate that kind of affection with being fed.
Hmm. Well, around here, the water is always freely available, as is the food.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I was doing that for a while. The cats were getting sick on the food that they were eating, the dry food. If there was too much dry food available, they would eat themselves sick.
okay.
So, also in San Diego, leaving dry food around was just inviting bugs.
Yeah.
Moo.
Yeah, I would have loads of ants if I left dry food out here.
Mind you, I live on a fairly high floor now, and the cats don't go outside. I probably wouldn't be all that too much worried about ants, and
Well,
especially not in wintertime.
ants can climb.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna climb all the way up here just because I left some dry food out. The only way ants are getting in, I think, is if they take a hike with me on my groceries.
Okay, okay.
Something with way too many legs happened to be like taking a nap on an apple or something.
Hmm.
These things
Taking a nap
happen
on
in the
an
real
apple.
world.
Yes, they do.
Hmm. Do spiders think we have too few legs?
Oh,
Yeah, I like that.
well, what I've often wondered is what cats or dogs, I suppose, think about clothing. You know? Like, oh my gosh, they keep taking their skins off. It's so gross.
I knew a dog that actually liked wearing clothes.
Well, okay, but I meant their reaction to us wearing clothing. Like what do they think clothing is?
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
I mean, like, I'm sure the cats are smart enough to realize that it's not part of me, but are they?
Well, a cat might be.
But dogs are just complete dipshits.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah,
Because
that's right.
most
Oh,
dogs
there's
I've
Ender.
known,
Hey there, buddy.
yeah, as far as most dogs I've known, the smartest of them is an idiot compared to the dumbest cat I've known.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty dumb cats. Apparently, my dad had one cat that he named Shithead.
Okay.
So the cat would go into the litter box, stick its ass outside the litter box, and take a shit.
Isn't that also the name
Oh,
of Steve Martin's dog in The Jerk? You guys have never seen The Jerk.
I've
Okay.
seen the. I'm thinking. I've seen the jerk, and I can't remember whether or not that is
I
the
swear,
case.
like someone said, like you shouldn't call that dog boy. You should call him shithead. And so he started calling him shithead because the dog was like Captain Misbehavior or something.
Hmm.
Isn't that right, Zandy Poo? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My little Zandy
Oh,
Poo. Oh,
the
who's
dog.
escaping now?
The dog I had was pretty smart.
Ah,
It's a Spitz Collie mix thing, and again, Spitz dogs tend to be pretty intelligent dogs. They're actually used for circuses.
okay.
Moo.
See, the thing is that cats are too smart to be in circuses. Like the
Mhm.
only way you'll get a cat to be in a circus is if you have like a bullwhip and a chair.
I don't know.
And the cat is wielding them both.
I've seen trained cats before.
Yeah.
The
You
cats
know, I
walk
don't
around.
think I've ever actually seen a lion tamer like in person.
I have.
But even then, do they really use a chair?
I cannot remember.
Because I've only seen that in cartoons.
I'm trying to remember if they did use a chair or not. No, they used a whip.
Yeah.
I've seen the German guy. What the hell was his name?
What? The Siegfried and Roy?
Yeah, huh?
Didn't one of them get like super mauled?
Yeah. I think one of them
Yeah.
got eaten. I think it was Siegfried.
Hmm.
Siegfried.
Well, not exactly eaten, just kind of chewed on.
Well, that's why
Hmm.
I said mauled. I forget if he died or not, but it's probably killed the act one way or another.
Apparently, he had a stroke, and the tiger went and chewed on him.
Hmm.
He claims that the tiger was trying to save him, but it's questionable as to whether that's true or not.
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy. Here we go.
Siegfried Fischbacher.
Were a pair.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, are they
Yeah, after
both?
that,
Yeah, okay. The one dude, wow, he was 81 years old? Damn. I didn't think they were that old.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty
during the
easy to
show
do.
at the Mirage on Horn's birthday, which one the hell is Horn? Roy Horn. Okay, got it. Okay, so here we go. On Horn's birthday on October 3rd, 2003, a 7-year-old white tiger named Manticore attacked Horn. So it was Roy who got attacked. The name of the tiger has frequently been misspelled as Monticore. Okay, sure. Either way, neither one is Manticore, the monster. As part of the act, but veering off script, Horn held his microphone to Manticore's mouth and told him to say hello to the audience. Manticore responded by biting Horn's sleeve. Horn swatted the tiger and barked, "Release!" while standby trainers unsuccessfully attempted to distract the cat with cubes of meat. Possibly incited by Horn's retreat, the tiger leapt at Horn, swinging at his legs and knocking him off his feet. So let's see. Okay, as trainers rushed in from offstage to assist, Manticore bit Horn's neck and dragged him off stage. Trainers got the
Ooh.
tiger to release Horn by spraying him with CO2 fire extinguisher canisters, the last resort available. The attack's severed horn spine resulted in massive blood loss and severely injured other parts of his body, permanently impairing his motor and verbal abilities. He also had a stroke either before or after Manticore dragged him off stage. While being taken to the hospital, Horn stated, "Manticore is a great cat. Make sure no harm comes to Manticore." He told People in September 2004 that Manticore saved his life by trying to drag him to safety after he had a stroke.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
He claimed he was telling the story, and that's the reason why the cat grabbed him.
yeah.
Yeah, but that bit about biting his neck, that makes me think the tiger thought of him as food.
Yeah.
Or as a kitten,
Though
I
interesting
have to
enough,
drag my kitten to safety by biting it on the back of the neck and dragging. That's what cats do. Haven't
yeah.
you seen a mama cat with a kitten in the mouth?
Well, I found this vintage
Yeah.
image here. If it wants to load up.
I'm just saying.
Come on. Transient. Nope, doesn't want to work.
How strange. What is the blue blobbies? Are you trying to what change your image?
Yeah, I've got found a vintage image of somebody using a chair for lion taming.
Oh,
Let's see if I can just go through the regular presenting screen where Diane has to okay it. Let's see here.
I don't like this whole StreamYards thing. StreamYard stinks. StreamYard stinks on ice. And it probably makes baby Jesus cry.
Share screen.
Oh, hey, did you hear that Mel Gibson is no shit making a sequel to Passion of the
Okay.
Christ called Passion of the Christ Resurrection?
Oh
There.
no.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of the Terminator franchise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But no, apparently, like what I read is it's about the like 3 days, what everyone was doing during the 3 days waiting for Jesus to come back. That's what I read anyway, and it just sounds so dippity.
There's the guy using a chair in a lion taming thing for an adventure. So apparently they did do it at some point. Though
Hmm.
the newer images I was seeing looks like the guy was using like two whips or maybe like they're like some kind of guiding sticks.
Huh.
Well, this looks like a century old at least.
Yeah, how old is this thing? Let's see, what does it say here? 1933. It's almost a century old.
Almost.
Yeah. Ah, man.
Yeah, I find it interesting to consider how recent a century ago is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thinking, like, in my brain, a century ago still starts with 18 something.
Mm.
It's funny looking at some older films and stuff. Like, I remember my parents made sure I saw things like Abbott and Costello and the Marx Brothers and things like that, Charlie Chaplin. And like looking at, say, for example, Abbott and Costello, Bud Abbott was born in 18 something. Like in
Yeah,
my mind, there are no movie stars that were born like before 1900. But no, it turns out, yeah, that's just weird, isn't it?
there were many much that were born before 1900.
But it just is like, my experience, not so much. I mean, let's face it, Mark Hamill was not born in 18 something.
Moo.
You think I sound like Max Headroom?
You do?
Parish Knight apparently thinks I do.
Huh. I mean, maybe in one of his less manic moments, perhaps a little bit you could be confused for it, I guess, but not really.
Matt Fuhr.
Matt Frewer,
Yeah, Fuhr.
you know, I
That's
don't know. He's a pretty good actor.
I heard
Maybe
they're.
Star Trek.
I heard he's apparently planning on revising his Max Headroom thing. I'm not sure
I,
how that would work.
I heard about that. Um, Given how they can like totally de-age people, it doesn't shock me.
It'd be easy to do with Max Headroom. I mean, it's mostly makeup anyway.
Yeah. It's funny, like it took me a really long time to realize that his shoulders are not his shoulders. He's like wearing this weird sort of ceramic or something, like fake chest thing. Like it's the suit that Max Headroom's wearing is completely fake.
Hmm.
It's a model that he's like put around his neck and shoulders. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Also, as I understand it, the American pilot that they shot, like originally was a British show, and for the American pilot, they recreated it shot for shot for shot, like exactly,
Huh.
which was kind of crazy. I have the series on disc. It only went like 12 episodes or something. It's fun, but very much a product of its time.
Yeah.
Mind you, I love that time, so that's okay, but still, it's like, yeah, very 80s proto cyberpunk sort of thing.
Yeah. I remember watching it.
Uh, I was actually thinking the other day, and I mentioned online about like if there's such a thing as a utopian cyber story, where it's like not taking place in a collapsed capitalist society, but people can still jack in, right? Like imagine Star Trek: The Next Generation with cyberware,
Hmm.
like I've never seen that done, and I was wondering what, like, if I tried to do it, what would the conflict be? Or would it just be that that happens to be the world that they live in, where that can take place, but it's not central to the story?
Yeah, it could work.
I mean, that's actually some of what I did in Quinn Redshift. There were a few things that I introduced as world building without actually making them central to the story. And it did lay some groundwork for later, because I do have plans for later. But, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, sorry. For a second there, I thought that sound was Xander getting into trouble, but it's not. Yeah, but anyway, so like I do like seeing tropes turned on their ears sometimes, but not just for the sake of ripping on it. You know what I mean? Where it's like um, sometimes when people do the opposite of what's traditional, there's a certain neener tone to it, you know? And I,
Hmm.
I want to try to turn a trope on its ear without making it seem like mockery.
Hmm.
Moo.
I mean, like one of the things I did early on when I was building up the world for Quinn Redshift was I decided that it would take place in the solar system instead of a big galactic empire. And that changed what the story, like the stories I could tell were changed dramatically by that. And it's also something that isn't done these days. I mean, almost every sci-fi show with casual space travel takes place, like we can go from Earth to freaking Zeta Reticuli and nothing flat because that's just what you do. That's what sci-fi is. I wanted to play around with something similar but different. I guess that would be a good way to put it. I wanted to make Quinn Redshift similar but different to the stuff that I've always loved.
Okay.
Think of the sci-fi I was thinking of. humans were just beginning to leave their solar system, while there was all these aliens that had already created these expansive of galactic empires and shit.
I know a couple of stories like that. There's one called Nara Bedla Limited. I believe the author is Paul Anderson, but I'm not sure. I have to check. It might have been Frederick Pohl. I'm not sure, Pohl. But regardless, it's basically like this dude who puts on plays in like Broadway or whatever gets recruited by a bunch of aliens to put on entertainment in their alien venues. So basically, he's like their like I forget if he's a stage manager or a director or what it is, but he manages the stage for aliens in space. It was interesting. I mean, it's like I'm not even into stage acting, but it was still a fun book. You know, but
Okay.
I mean, the basic idea was that humanity doesn't know squat about this. The guy just went off and did it. You know, with this alien who posed as like an agent or something. And yeah, so it's very much humanity is not a spacefaring civilization, but they're surrounded by aliens.
Yeah, I remember I had thought up of one part where a guy gets brought onto an alien spaceship, and he's essentially in this giant fishbowl kind of thing because he can't breathe the alien's atmosphere.
Right?
So they just create this little bubble for him to be in.
Like a hamster ball.
I thought, like I said, I thought it a bit more like a giant fishbowl, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's actually something that might be fun to do with like animated stuff because I want to do like some shorts, you know, things that are not as intensive as Quinn, and just little things like that, like oh my gosh, I'm on an alien ship, and what are they going to do to me? And then they do something completely unexpected, like you know that this horrible thing that looks like it could be a probe turns out not to be, you know, that kind of thing
Yeah.
Okay.
or whatever. I have some ideas. I want to do something where like I try to integrate the cats into whatever it is I'm making, you know, like oh, the great one approaches and this spaceship docks and it opens up and there's one of the cats inside, and you know, like an animated character really small compared to the cat walks alongside going the you know the preparations are prepared, your majesty, look upon your empire, kind of thing, you know. So it's like treating the cat like they're in this virtual environment, but you know, like
Okay.
I
yeah, and
came
you know, little things like that. I've been wanting to integrate live action and animation for a while.
uh, came up with another alien that was basically they can breathe our atmosphere, but we can't breathe theirs.
Okay.
All right.
If I remember correctly, I kind of based them sort of off a mix between the Asari from Mass Effect and the Navi from um,
Avatar.
yeah, Avatar.
There we go.
Brain fart.
I forget which ones the Asari are. They the oh those guys. Okay.
Yeah, the blue ones.
Well,
The tentacle heads.
yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny if you look at their heads like that. It almost looks a little bit like Quinn Redshif's hairdo. Hmm. I'm just saying.
Is that me, mate?
What?
What is what me, mate? What is what
What?
me?
What?
Oh, native atheist. Is that you, mage?
Oh,
Is what me?
probably that voice. I don't know.
Do I sound weird today or something?
Well,
No weirder than usual.
Oh.
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
Where am I? There am I.
It's still pretty cold out there, isn't it? Oh, it went up a whole degree.
Hey.
But I am starting to get a wee smidge hungry. And I should probably
Yeah.
feed the kitties.
I'm gonna have to
And I
think
want to
about.
see if I'm really going to buy this video game.
I'm gonna have to think of some food pretty soon too. But well, we've been on for just a little bit short of 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at the current temperature here. Um,
Also bought this thing. They're like severely back ordered. I bought this card deck thing called the Story Engine. And it's supposed to like help you build your world if you get stuck. It's like a deck of cards that give you things like character backgrounds and events and stuff like that. And I bought the base thing, the world building kit, the sci-fi and the fantasy kits. So I've been trying to like sit down and write a novel since forever. Maybe this thing will help. Maybe it'll get me out of that rut on the thing I was doing where I was trying to make like Peter Pan in outer space. And it might be that if I can write it, but I'll have to relax my grip on some of the details. Like the Lost Boys, I guess will just have to not be immortal children.
okay, okay.
You know, things like that. I don't know.
Oh
Anyway,
wow.
I really am hungry, so
Since we're wrapping things up, there's my YouTube channel. I plan to be doing a seed germination test, testing the different seed germination and test methods.
Hey, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat little video. I literally dreamed this video up. I had a dream that I was making this video, and I woke up the next morning and I started working on it.
Huh,
oh.
sounds good to me.
Well, anyway, I will catch you evil geniuses later, so have fun.
Alright. Later.
Have fun, honey. Have a good lunch or whatever it happens to be, and
At this
I guess
point,
yeah.
it's dinner. All right, later.
Take care, dear.
So
And
if you're
then
if you're interested in gardening, go check out my channel. It's I'm only 3 people away from getting 100 subscribers.
I think I'm already subscribed to you. I
Yeah,
think.
I think you are. Well, if you're not, go check it out.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, and then I'll get around to some food as well.
All right.
And okay, to everybody, I'm going to say I want to thank everybody who's here, and I want to thank everybody who's not here. And you guys keep me going, and I hate you all for it. What can I tell you? So I hope I'm going to have a more regular schedule than I have been having, because that would mean that my health is slightly improved. I'd like to see that. And okay, sounds real good. And Mage, you take care and have fun
You
and
too.
stuff. Okay, everybody be good and have fun. Thanks a lot,
Later.
troops. See you on the other side.